People who are actually touching the technology and have an experience with it, it takes them so much further than maybe just doing a book or an exercise or a lab. So this kind of a program where they actually get to touch the technology, where they actually get to experience real-world experiences, where they actually get to go out to organizations like ours and see what technology really can do in the workplace, I think that puts them light years ahead. What we look for is technical aptitude. Someone that has actually demonstrated and had some experiences with technology, somebody that understands at least the basic foundations of the field itself. They don't need to necessarily have all of the things mastered. That will come with training and experience, but what we look for are students that have a desire or an aspiration to be in the field. And you can always tell that when someone is doing the work, at night and at home. And one of the questions we ask every single new hire is, what does your lab look like at home? And if they can't answer that question, it's kind of one of those things, well, do you really want to do this field? Because it's one of those fields that requires a lot of continuing education at a self-paced rate. And so if you really don't want to continue to learn and grow on your own, you'll fall behind. And so it's one of those things where you want to help those students understand what they need in order to be successful inside the field. The effort for us to be able to have engineers and professionals out there influencing the young students of today is super important. Schools, colleges, vocational schools, they have trouble staying with the latest and greatest in technology. It moves at such a lightning speed and at such a quick rate. It's very difficult for those curriculums and for those new students that are coming through to be able to understand what's really available to them when they come out. And so we've taken it upon ourselves to basically generate and produce an opportunity for them to live in a day in a life in an IT in our facility, so they can have access to careers, technology, people, so they can kind of understand what's available to them when they come out of school. I was at Sprint for 17 years, and big organization, a lot of different people, a lot of tech. And so one of my jobs was the transformation of the data centers and of the technology that was responsible for a lot of the automation and replacement of people's jobs. I will tell you that the way that it really happens is people change what they do and how they do it, not necessarily get replaced. And so what we always found inside of Sprint is, as we were walking through that, is that people would choose to either move forward with a different type of skill set and learn that skill set and transform with the company, or some people would obviously choose not to do that. It's their prerogative. But in general, most people will change with the technology. So I wouldn't call it a replacement, it's a change. And a lot of times what I tell people is don't get married to the way that you hit the keyboard, because that will change as well. It's just a matter of being open and being aware of the environment is always going to be constantly moving. And you need to be thinking about not marrying yourself to a process, because that will date you and roll you back and put you at jeopardy. The environment is going to change, and being inside of the tech field is a super exciting world where it is always changing and there is always opportunity. And so having that forward thinking and being kind of a champion of that is good. We do a ton of work with user groups, networking groups, professional groups, things of that nature. It's actually a growing environment. They kind of talk about it, and you might have heard of the term Silicon Prairie or something like that. So it's kind of fun to see a lot of these organizations start building up. There's several of them, from security to cloud to DevOps, you know, to IoT, that you can get plugged into. They're free. It's a wonderful way. That's one of the things that we do for all of our students is here's all of the user groups that are growing and exploding. Not only do you get free education, you get free food, which is always good because we are all motivated by food. But then also you get to rub elbows with a lot of the industry and a lot of the people out there hiring. And so it's just a matter of knowing where to go, right? And so we try to plug in as many people as we can into those organizations. I have a great affinity towards education. I think it's just a matter of opportunity for students, no matter about their background, where they're located, their economical, social, does not matter. What matters is just access. And so I spend a lot of time with a lot of different schools in the community, from some of the more successful schools to some of the ones that are struggling inside of the tech environment. And all I do is try to figure out a way to help them bridge the gap so that students have access, so they have opportunity.